What's going on, everybody? Banger T here. Living a smoker's dream every day. Tell you what, though, I'm going to talk to you today. As I'm talking to you, I'm going to roll some cigarettes up that I got to get ready for tomorrow. Because quite honestly, I just don't have the time to waste. I need to get these cigarettes rolled, and might as well talk to you while I'm doing it. But I'm going to come to you with a question today. Have you ever had that day where things just almost nothing worked out the way it was supposed to, the way you thought it was going to play out? And it was just a miserable day, all in all. I had that day today. Let me show you what I'm working with right here. I'm using the raw rolling machine, old school, just normal old rolling machine. I'm actually using raw papers today, which I tell you what, I've never been a big fan of because I thought they were a little pricey. But I got these on for a set of 500 of them for $4.91. So I can't really complain about that price too much. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm mixing in with it these top filters for the end of the cigarette. Because if you don't put those in there, there's just really no end to the cigarette. And then you end up with tobacco in your mouth. And these close it off and get rid of everything. But back to what I was talking about. You know, I woke up today and I had great intentions, man. I just moved here from Louisville, Kentucky. I moved to Corpus Christi, Texas. I have a bit of a seizure issue, which I think I've expressed a couple times. So if you watch the channel at all, you should know that by now. But anyway, I came down here to Corpus Christi, Texas to try to relax my life a little bit, get close to some family that could, help take care of me if perchance I have a seizure. Last seizure issue I had put me in the hospital for 5 days. So, I need to be around more people that were going to be able to, be right there. So I moved into an apartment complex that's the same complex as my sister. And first off, I'm going to tell you, if you can avoid a full world relocation your whole life across country, if you can avoid it, avoid it. Don't do it. It is not a fun process. It is absolutely miserable. Now, I will say, everybody involved with this process did everything they could to make it as easy as possible. I'm going to come up here with this and let you see what's going on. I'm just rolling this down. Sliding my tongue across the glue strip, rolling it up a little bit more, popping it out, and I got a cigarette. Perfectly rolled, nice and neat. Life's happy. So, I moved down here, and to be honest with you, I'm just kind of in limbo. I spent 36 years in Louisville, Kentucky. My entire life, basically, was in Louisville, Kentucky. I know the areas. I know the schools, everything about my life I knew. I come here and I'm just total blind. I don't know the area at all. I don't know anything. I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to get there. Again, I said I do have this little epileptic seizure issue, so I do not drive a car. I am allowed to ride a bicycle or an electric scooter, if possible. So I do have a scooter. Goes up to 25 miles an hour, something like that. I do enjoy it, actually. And it saves me a lot of money because I don't spend any money on gas, and I just deal with the range and the speed and how that works out. But today I wanted to go down to where I went yesterday. I went yesterday with my sister and my mom to this pier that is literally sitting on the bay of the ocean and goes way out into the ocean, and it's just wicked cool. And I wanted to get some shots of that. And it's just like everything just fell apart on me on the way down there. First and foremost, going down there on the scooter was a little bit different because the roads here in Corpus Christi, Texas are just crap. I mean, they're just horrid. worst, I've been doing a scooter situation now for, oh hell, probably 3 years, maybe longer than that, maybe 4 years. Never have I come across situations that I've had to endure on this road getting to where I needed to be. Just horrid. So that was the first fallback because I had to fight that the whole way down to, and also because I don't know where I'm going. So I'm worried about where I'm going. Plus, I'm also worried about watching the road and watching for imperfections on the scooter so I don't wreck. So I get all the way down there finally. Corpus Christi is supposed to be a tourist town, beachy. Now granted, it is mid-January, so you should expect cold weather, I guess. Again, I came from Louisville, Kentucky, so I don't even know why it bothers me, because what I came from was 32 degrees, and but today was sitting around 61, I guess, in Corpus, but the wind was doing like 30 miles an hour, freezing cold. Well, I'll rephrase that. Not freezing cold. Cold enough to be really bothersome. Get down there. Made it down there. I was happy that I made it there. I was excited. I was like, you know what? This is something positive. We actually, completed something. We got somewhere. I've been here in Corpus for a week, and I haven't accomplished anything at all. I have maybe gotten a decent part of my apartment organized, which I'll tell you is absolutely miserable. Again, that comes down to the relocating, everything that's going on. Of course, as usual, always have your coffee. I was able to take my coffee with me, thank goodness. But I get down there, and I'm sitting on the pier, and I got to tell you, it's just an awesome view. And I'm going to get you a shot of that one day when the weather gets a little more formidable for that situation. But I'm sitting down there, and I go to use the good old faithful, which I just throw on the ground here. The good old faithful. Always use the Zippo lighter, which, as you can see, works just fine. Down on this pier, the wind was so strong that I had 2 Zippos with me, and neither one of them would light. Now, yesterday, I kind of ran into the same scenario. It was more of an off and on situation with the lighters. I ended up using a Bic lighter, just a regular Bic lighter, and that works just fine. But me being as cool as I am, decided that I just left my Bic lighter at the apartment. So I rode, probably a good 25 minutes to get down there on the scooter on a street that I did not know, that had the worst cracks, bumps, drop-offs, and misery that you could fathom. And my lighters wouldn't work. And this was, my friends, a severe smokable moment. Because at this point, I was happy that I got down there, but I was so frustrated and irritated with the ride that my tension was just through the roof. And then my lighters didn't work. And I couldn't have my smokable moment. And I was hoping that I brought my Bic lighter with me, but I didn't. Because I'm a genius. And I'm the smoker OG. And really, quite honestly, I was just stupid because I didn't plan for it. So I sit there for a few more minutes. The wind's blowing. The wind's going crazy. It's chilly. I say, okay, this just isn't going to accomplish anything. I'm definitely not doing a video without a cigarette. That's all there is to that. And I couldn't light it. I did have my coffee, but that's about all I had from the Smoker OG. And without anything else, I'm not doing a video. So then I decided to ride back home. I make it back home. And finally, my piece of the day comes in. and I get to have my cigarette, and I enjoyed it. As I'm sitting here with you, I've rolled 2, almost 3 cigarettes, just kind of chatting with you with this little raw rolling system, which I do actually enjoy, and I do encourage you to try. It's not a bad setup, and it is relatively inexpensive. And I will tell you, the price of tobacco, I didn't realize how much it drastically changes between states. In Kentucky, the same size bag that I just bought here at my first little smoke shop that I found, I paid $12.99 for in Louisville, Kentucky. Here in Corpus Christi, the same size bag was $23.99. So the cost of tobacco in Corpus Christi is a lot higher. I was able to buy it. I was able to get my, I already had my filters. I already had my papers, so that wasn't a big stress. And I'm just trying to get these papers separated. And so I get back home. I finally get to sit down. I get my lighter. And you know what? My famous Bic lighters, my famous Zippo lighters that I preach so much about, how much I love, wouldn't work for me down at the pier. They're supposed to be my fail-safe. They wouldn't work for me. Granted, it was climate control. There's, the lighter didn't have anything to do with it. I get back home. As you can see, I've already got one lit up. As you can see, the lighter works just fine. But the situation down at the pier would not let the lighters work. And I just felt let down by my Zippo that I talk so much about. How you should always use a Zippo lighter. You should always have your coffee. You should always have your smokable products. If you're going to be the smoker OG, those are products that you always have to have on you no matter what. And it failed on me. And then I was down there, already had a rough ride, was irritated, was cold, was windy. The wind was actually nice. And I'm sitting there watching the ocean, which was wicked cool because that's not something I ever see in Kentucky anyway. But I couldn't have a cigarette. And I was frustrated and irritated, and it was a smokable moment that I could not enjoy. So when I got back to the apartment, bam, finally, peace just relaxes over me because I'm able to have my smokable moment to sit back and reflect on what was going on. And I realized after thinking about it for a while that I have reached an absolute low in life. Because as I'm riding down the road on the scooter, I'm cussing at the road. I'm telling the road, man, if you don't have a spot for me to go here, I'm going to be so pissed off. And nobody cares. Nobody's listening. Nobody even cares. The lighters, I'm cussing at the lighters on the pier because they won't work. I'm not being loud, obnoxious about it, but in my head, I'm sitting there cussing out a physical object, a Zippo lighter. That's how you know when you've had a rough day. When you are cussing at physical objects, like it's going to make a difference in anything, you know you've had a rough day. That's when it's time to have a smokable moment. That's when it's time to just stop what you're doing, sit down and relax, because the next decisions you make are going to affect everything else. And you're in a bad state, you're in a frustrated state, and you're either going to make a good decision or a bad decision, and it's all going to be based on your actions and how you feel at that moment. And unless you can get that smokable moment in to relax and understand what's going on, you could potentially make a very bad decision. I'm not saying you can't make a good decision, because I was able to make it home just fine. I was able to not have any problems. Everything worked out. I'm just saying that in the mood that I was in the situation I was in, it was time for a smokable moment. But I'll tell you what, folks, if you've hung with me, through this video here. If you've hung with me through whatever it is, I absolutely appreciate you. I have picked up one more follower, which I'm very excited about. You know, if I can get some more, I definitely appreciate it. Anyway, tell me about your days. Tell me about the times that you've been out and you're literally cussing at something that has no kind of emotional feeling to it at all. You're cussing at a physical object that is just, it's just pointless, and all it's doing is frustrating you more and irritating you more and getting you more fired up, and there's absolutely no point to it. But you've hit that point where you're just, nothing is going to stop you. Nothing matters. Give me some comments on here. Tell me about your moments. Tell me about your days where you have done that, where you have said, you know what? If you don't like for me right now, I'm going to be so pissed off. Because the lighter doesn't care, people. I got to be honest with you. I'd like to say it does. The lighter is an essential part to being the smoker OG. However, the lighter doesn't care if it works or not. And if you don't plan ahead and prepare for it properly, and you don't have the cigarettes, and you don't have the lighter, and you don't have the smokable products, and you don't have your coffee, that's all on you. That's all your fault. And that's all something you have to just deal with. But I'll tell you what, I have enjoyed making this video again. It was kind of pointless, I know, kind of silly. I appreciate you watching it. Hit the subscribe button for me if you can. I'd like to get a few more followers going on here. Just because it makes me feel good when I get a follower, when I get somebody to subscribe to my little channel here. So hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, but more importantly, leave me some comments and tell me about your days that you've had that have just been misery. And they really weren't misery. You just made them out to be that way, like I did today. Today was actually not a bad day, but the way I reacted to everything and my reactions to what was going on made it a bad day. That's when you know you need a smokable moment. Folks, I'm Banger T. Always enjoy your coffee. Always enjoy your smokable products. Always enjoy your tobacco. I'm still going to say it, even though they bailed on me today. Always use a Zippo lighter. Always enjoy a smoker's life. Folks, I'm Banger T. I'm out.